Hey guys, so you've worked hard to build your property portfolio, but what happens if a tenant trashes your unit? What if you suddenly lose your income? Or worse, if something happens to you before your goals are realized? Most Aussies never think about this until it's too late. That's why in today's deep dive, I'm breaking down the 4 key types of insurance every property investor needs: landlord, income, life cover, and full asset protection. So that way you don't just build wealth, you actually get to keep it. And make sure you stick around because later in the video, I'll reveal the single most common insurance mistake Aussie investors make. One that left the client of ours out of pocket over $40,000. And I'll show you exactly how to avoid it. All right, insurance, it's not exciting. Let's be honest, most people would rather talk about capital growth, leverage, and passive income rather than premiums and policies. But if you don't protect your portfolio and your personal capacity to keep building, it can all come crashing down. That's why real wealth isn't just about acquiring assets. It's about protecting your downside. So in this video, we'll cover 4 types of insurance every Aussie investor should consider. 1, landlord insurance. What you need, what's covered, and the traps. 2, income protection, because without cash flow, nothing else matters. 3, life and TPD, the uncomfortable but essential cover for family and for legacy. And 4, asset protection, how insurance interacts with structures like trusts and companies to safeguard everything you've built. By the end, you'll know exactly what safety nets to put in place to protect your property portfolio and your wealth. First up, landlord insurance. This is an absolute essential. Standard home insurance won't cut it. You need a policy that covers the unique risks of renting a property out. Here's what a good landlord policy should cover: loss of rent. If your tenant stops paying, you want rent protection. Damage by tenants, from malicious damage to accidental spills on carpets. Legal liability, if a tenant injures themselves on your property and decides to sue you. Let's take a look at a quick example. Sarah, one of our clients rented out her Brisbane townhouse. The tenant stopped paying rent for 3 months, broke their lease, and left carpets destroyed. Replacement plus loss of rent, $16,000. Luckily, her landlord insurance policy covered almost all of it. Now imagine if she skipped on landlord insurance to save $700 per year. And here's the kicker: not all policies are created equal. Some insurers only cover loss of rent up to 6 weeks. Others have low caps on malicious damage. So always read the PDS carefully before you buy. Next, income protection. This one always gets overlooked, especially by younger investors because they think they're invincible. But you know what? It's critical. Why? Because your biggest wealth building tool isn't your existing property. It's your ability to earn an income, to fund more deposits, service more loans, and pay expenses. If you lost that tomorrow, say you were injured, sick, or unable to work for months or even years, how long would your portfolio survive? Now, income protection typically covers 70 to 80% of your gross salary until you're able to return to work. We'll give you an example. Paul, an engineer in Sydney, 120K salary, healthy, mid-30s, unexpectedly developed a chronic back issue, forced off work for 6 months. His income protection policy kicked in, paying around $7,000 a month. Without it, he would have been forced to sell his negatively geared investment property in Penrith at the worst possible time. With it, he was able to keep holding, and that property has now since appreciated over 200K. Next, life and TPD insurance. Now, this is where we had a tough conversation. Life insurance and TPD, which is total and permanent disability cover. A lot of Aussie investors think, I'm fit, I'm healthy, nothing will happen to me. Well, maybe, and hopefully. But life insurance, it's not for you. It's for your family, for your kids, or your partner, the people who rely on your income and your investments. Life insurance pays out a lump sum if you die. TPD pays you permanently if you're unable to work. That can pay off your mortgage, protect your portfolio from fire sales. It can provide replacement income for your dependents, or it can ensure your property strategy continues instead of collapsing. Imagine you're holding 4 properties worth $3 million, loans of $2 million. Rent covers most of the holding costs. If you pass away without life cover, your family is left not only with grieving, but scrambling to sell assets just to cover debt. With cover, that debt could be cleared, and they keep the portfolio, which gives them an income stream when you're gone. Finally, asset protection. So insurance is one layer of defense, ownership structures are the other. If you're using discretionary trusts or family trusts, companies, and trustees, or other asset structures, these combined with your insurance policies build a firewall around your wealth. Take this example. A business owner holds investment properties in a family trust. If something goes wrong with their business and creditors come knocking, those properties are more difficult to access. Add in landlord insurance, income protection, and life on top of that, and now your wealth has multiple shields. This is why Aussies never rely on a single protection tool. It's the layers, insurance plus smart structuring, that is what gives you security. Now, the story I posted earlier, one of our clients, let's call him David, he had 2 properties in his personal name. He thought general insurance was enough. When the tenant stopped paying and damaged the kitchen, he expected coverage. Well, it turns out his policy only covered accidental damage, not malicious damage. And they only covered 4 weeks' rent, out of pocket, $42,000. That mistake delayed his next investment by nearly 3 years. Lesson here, not all insurance is broad enough or gives you all the coverage you need. You need proper landlord coverage and ideally paired with some income and asset protection built into your overall portfolio plan. Now, if this video is giving you clarity on how much risk exists and you want to protect your wealth, hit the like button now and subscribe, because every week we break down advanced strategies for Aussie investors who want to scale safely. Now, if you're thinking, this all makes sense, but which insurances do I need to cover my properties, my income, my family? Well, that's where we help investors map out. In our strategy session, we look at your portfolio, your cash flow, and your personal circumstances. We connect the dots between your investments and the right protection plan. So hit the link below to book your free strategy session before you buy your next property, so you can grow wealth without leaving major gaps. In the next video, we're going to compare commercial versus residential property. Which one makes sense for your next purchase and how to decide based on risk, yield, and strategy. It's one of the biggest decisions you'll face as an investor, and I'll give you the framework so you can choose wisely. Don't miss it.